Chatterbox Besties with Brenda and Ricki. We're two besties sharing news, gift ideas, and lifestyle hacks to turn ordinary days into a 10 plus. Well, we're so excited to chat today, and we have got a great discussion, and we cannot wait to dive in.
I'm so excited. Today we're talking about the opera, the M word, and fun trends that we can't stop chatting about.
And wow, what an April it has been. Two back-to-back women's events. We went to the first one, the Women's in Business Opera event featuring La Boheme, and I'm such a softie for the opera, so I absolutely loved it.
And then the incredible M Factor event. It's all about menopause, perimenopause, postmenopause, and not your mother's version. This is the modern version, and we have so much to share about that.
Oh, yeah, it was so good. But we'll start with the opera. And in case you don't know, I absolutely love the opera. I love the drama, I love the music of it all. And on my bucket list was going to see an opera in Paris at the Paris Opera House last year. And I did get to do that. And I was on pins and needles with excitement. And it was so fabulous. Just the gilded rooms and the marble staircases, that whole vibe in that venue, and the ornate red velvet and gold trim chairs. And oh my gosh, of course, the cast and the costumes and the emotion and the literally 15-minute standing ovation with every single person screaming, "Bravo, bravo." I was like, what the heck? Where am I? It was such a surreal cultural immersion moment for me, and I'll never forget it. It was so cool. And I know now, Ricki, you're not a super fan of the opera, but somehow I did twist your arm to come with me to see La Boheme at the Lyric Opera House in Chicago. And of course, there was a fun pre-networking event too. So I think that might have helped sway you. So what do you think? Like, what did you think of the whole thing?
Okay, to be really honest, opera is not my favorite thing. And once I mentioned to my husband we should try and experience the opera because we both love theater and music. So he surprised me with tickets to Wagner. So thoughtful initially, but I didn't check it out beforehand. Lesson learned. It was 6. I'm just going to repeat 6 very, very long hours. So, to say the least, I wasn't enthused, but my bestie was so enthusiastic. How could I say no? So, the prior event was so much fun networking with complete, but oh so interesting and engaging, delightful women. This opera was only 2.5 hours, and they did have an intermission. And thankfully, it was very good. So yay.
Yay!
I did it.
Well, oh my gosh, coming from a 6 hour one, I don't know if I could sit through a 6 hour one, so I'm pretty impressed that you did that. But yes, as Ricki said, beyond just the opera, there was a great pre-networking event at the Union League Club in Chicago, and shout out to Marnie, like what a great name. If you're listening, and I actually do need to send her a note to make sure she listens to this podcast. She does a great job with this Women in Business event every year. I mean, she goes all in with like a color theme and so much more with great appetizers and cocktails. And I was thinking maybe next year we'll gather our Chatterbox Bestie group to come for a little event. I mean, maybe it could be so fun to have an opera gathering. I mean, whether or not you're into the opera, it's a pretty fun event, and you might even like turn the corner if you're not an opera fan. What do you think, Ricki? I mean, it could be fun.
Okay, well, shockingly, I'm in as long as it's not a 6 hour event. People were dressed to the nines in every shade of pink, not my favorite color. And oh, they do change the colors, Brenda mentioned, every year. But it was really fun to walk into this room on the arm of this handsome butler who was somebody's husband. And all these beautifully dressed women, pink lights. And it was just really an upbeat, fun event. And this is a case of a benefit going out of your comfort zone and living big. It was very big.
Yeah, it was fun. She does go all out, and I absolutely love pink. So I was like very excited about it. And I have to say, you did step out with your pinkish dress and black sweater to tone it down, I'm sure. You looked great. And the butlers that they kind of had volunteer really to, they were so cute in their tuxedos and they were handing out pink roses to all of us. We all felt very pampered and it was very cute and very fun. And it was fun meeting so many cool women. I mean, we had a lot of we had a lot of great interactions. In fact, we met some women that evening that happened to be at the event we went to the night prior. So it was just like really a conversion of lots of really cool conversations and networking, and so it was great. It was great. So yeah, it was fun. Yay!
So we went to another event, and frankly, I think last week I spent more time with Brenda than I did with my own husband.
Yeah, they were. Our husbands were kind of jealous. Like, oh, you're going out with her again?
So that Brenda said I had to attend the next night as well. And it was this event called the M Factor. Okay, I'm going to say this kind of quietly because some of us don't like admitting or talking about it. Menopause and perimenopause. But again, as I said before, this is not your mother's version. It was really dynamic and this incredible panel discussion with panelists offering a very eye-opening film called The M Factor. And now when I was going through all this, my peers never talked about it openly. And I wasn't sure I wanted to go out or what I would need to learn or anything about this event. But I really cannot stress enough how important this information and discussion was. And for anyone who has adult daughters, this information is a must see and absorb. It's all totally new information from when I was going through this. And now they've done it in the best way possible. So, again, I can't stress this enough. And I guess my takeaway is we're not born to suffer, and you're
Mm-hmm.
not crazy with whatever symptoms you experience. And finally, and most importantly, there are solutions. But the real key is to find a certified provider who can help you with this journey.
So true.
And and if I could quote one of the doctors on the panel, this really, really stuck with me. We're all living healthy, productive lives. But if you're around 50 or even younger, depending on when you experience perimenopause, the doctors are generally not trained to help you with the next phase of your life. We take care of everyone around us, but how much do we really focus on ourselves in the best way possible? And the doctors who are trained specifically as OBGYNs said they had around 12 years of medical training. And this was my quote: only 4 weeks was devoted to perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. I was blown away by this. And I really, as I scanned the room, and there were probably, I didn't count them, but it looked like at least 250 to 300 people.
Yeah, at
These
least.
were beautiful, vibrant women. And I was so impressed with the buzz that they were generating. The questions were thoughtful, they were profound. And I have to be candid and honest. When it was over, I was kind of sad because I felt like we had just scratched the surface. It left this electric feeling in me. I can't even explain it. And I really encourage all of you to keep exploring it. And I just want to leave you with another thought. And as I left and I was thinking about this, we pride ourselves in knowing the latest shoe trend, the best lip gloss, or whatever you're into. But why don't we take some of that discovery energy and apply it to ourselves to living better?
I'm so excited because I 100% knew you would feel this way as much as I know how you walked into that event. And I know that each of you listening would as well, especially if you're not versed in this topic, which frankly, most women are not because there's no information. Well, hasn't been a lot of information out there. And I guess I would say don't shy away from this topic because it is real. And again, as Ricky said, especially if you have daughters, it's something we need to pay attention to. We need to educate each other on. And menopause, perimenopause, all the things that every single female, every one of you will experience if you haven't already, and different grades of it. I mean, Ricky and I talk, we never really had a lot of kind of the strong menopausal symptoms. We kind of just went on our way and whatever. But there's so many questions out there, and there are more questions than answers, actually. And but fortunately, it's being brought to the forefront as of late, and I felt it was really important to talk about this topic. I mean, at first, I didn't really know much about menopause other than your period stops, done, over. That's about it. And I didn't have any symptoms, as I said. So visible symptoms. And so many women go through it. And but I did notice for me, I had this unexplainable weight gain that I was no longer able to keep off, no matter how clean I ate, how much I worked out. It was kind of frustrating. And I don't know, I just started gathering bits and pieces of information along the way that started making sense. So, for example, in our book club, we read that Suzanne Summers book years ago on bioidentical hormones. And I was reading it and I had no idea what she was talking about. Didn't know if it was a thing, didn't know if it was safe. I was like 100% clueless. Then I started learning a little bit more about hormone replacement. I started talking to my doctor, and she basically initially told me, just stay on the Mediterranean diet. I would be fine. I was like, okay. Well, over the years, she actually has evolved. Honestly, I think because many of her patients have been like talking to her and asking her about the same questions. And it really is not the fault of the doctors, right? I mean, they haven't been trained. So, unfortunately, for women, we have to be the ones to advocate for ourselves, to do the research, to read up, get educated, and start asking questions. I mean, I attended this seminar through the Penn Club of Chicago, and there were top experts from all over the world, physicians, etc. And I learned so much about the history of women, the research that hasn't been done. There hasn't been that much research done on women. And the research that has been done has been interpreted incorrectly. I mean, it was 100% mind blowing to me. I started following a couple experts, Dr. Marie Claire, which I have talked to a lot of my friends about that. But she's an OBGYN who was not trained as well, but she found that she wasn't serving her patients properly. So she did a deep dive into all the research on menopause and kind of has her own sort of perspective on it. She's brilliant. And then Tamsen Fadel, she's a menopause activist who also deep dived into the topic to advocate for women. And then I talked to a friend of mine who went to this wellness camp in Baja, and I was looking into it, and it looked really kind of cool. And in my process of researching it, I came across these women, these incredible women that put together this film called, wouldn't you know it, The M Factor. And a couple of months later, coincidentally, I happened to get invited to this event screening in Chicago of the film that Ricki and I went to at the Arts Club. And I couldn't wait to check it out. So Ricki, I am so excited that you came with me. And I know we were so like juiced up when we like left. Like, this is incredible. And we actually are thinking about having one of these experts on our show in a future episode. And if it's a topic of interest and you feel like you want to learn more about it, please send us an email. We want to gauge interest at chatterboxbesties@gmail.com, or direct message us on Instagram at chatterboxbesties. We'll put those two notes in the show notes for you. We'd love to know if you're interested in learning more. I think it's so critical. And I want to share one more thing about this whole topic. So Tamsen Fadel, who's one of the menopause experts, she talked about this, about books that get women through their female lives. So number one, you may remember the book, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. It's that coming of age book for women. And that's, kind of when you're younger. And then there's the book, What to Expect When You're Expecting, When You're Pregnant. I mean, I remember, working my full-time job and coming home and reading that book until 1 a.m. I wanted to know every single detail of what to expect when I was pregnant, and all the sequels following, What to Expect Your First Year, blah, blah, blah. And then nothing, like absolutely nothing was written until now. And so now there are two books that are being touted out there. One is called How to Menopause by Tamsen Fadel, who we talked about. And then another one that's been out there is the new Menopause by Dr. Mary Claire, who's the OBGYN. And so it's just really interesting how finally women are getting, of this sort of life stage, are getting attention. And if you missed it, just this month, Oprah hosted Dr. Mary Claire and other menopause activists, Halle Berry, Maria Shriver. It was an all-star cast bringing to light this important topic.
Yeah, I was going to say, as we start talking to people, you realize how it's affecting everyone, well, every female on
Yeah.
this planet. And even if you don't have what you think are the typical M symptoms on the outside, it could be affecting you internally and causing issues due to hormone balance. And Dr. Marie Claire, on one of her latest posts, said things like, do you have unusual aches and pains? Do you have a frozen shoulder? Do you have excess mucus? And all these things can be part of menopause. And the best part of the whole thing is that there are solutions. So, one of the points that the doctors made was when you go to your checkup, make sure you have a list of questions and you ask if they have time to answer these questions. And
Mhm.
if they don't, make another appointment. I'm going to say it again, make another appointment. And even if you're afraid of HRT, hormone replacement therapy, it's totally different now. Even people with histories of breast cancer, either in their family or themselves, are people who can take HRT. You just need to go to an experienced professional. And there are lists of people who are certified menopause experts. So you start with your regular gynecologist, but they may or may not be the person that's going to give you the answers. And all I'm saying is be as forthright and diligent as we are when we're looking for lip gloss and the latest shoes and take care of ourselves because we're worth it. So I'm just going to say that.
Absolutely. And I'm so impressed with you, Ricky, that you've taken this huge turn. I mean, honestly, when you start listening to the information, you will be mind blown as well, like we have been. And 100% start doing the research and you will see what you've been missing. So, yeah, it was incredible. So
Okay, so
yay.
now to do a little turn on something kind of fun and light, can we talk about those cute aviators that you created?
Avatars, avatars.
Avatar, sorry. I was thinking about sunglasses. And I just want to say Brenda knew that I would never do it, so it was really sweet that she did one for me. And we've gotten such fun feedback. So if you haven't seen them, go to our Instagram page for the last couple of posts.
Well, yes, I had so much fun generating these. I love all the new techie stuff, so I had to try it. And I was really obsessed when I realized that these tech tools are out there to create these, and it's such a fun trend on the cusp of this technology. But oh my God, what a crazy ride to create these.
I just want to add, I'm so appreciative of Brenda making it for me because I never would have. But even my daughter, who is more tech savvy, said she was trying to make one and she was having a rough time. So maybe she'll ask her 15-year-old daughter if she can do
Well,
it.
it was very tricky for sure, and I was kind of happy with what was generated, though I have to tell you, it took a little bit of patience to generate. I mean, once an image was generated, like suddenly your time expired and you can't get back on for like 8 hours. So I was like, okay, not only is it taking forever to create, but now I have to wait. So then when I went back and tried something to make a little adjustment, I like got this whole new person and I looked like a brunette Dolly Parton. And I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm taking what I got the first time. I kind of like it. It's great. And so, Ricky, when I went to do yours, I was like, can you just do a blonde version of me and whatever else I thought would be like appropriate for you? And then boom, it was like score, first time out. I was super psyched and I couldn't wait to post it because I think you look adorable. So definitely check them out on your Instagram. And if you don't have Instagram, you need to get it because I know a couple of my friends are like, I don't do Instagram. Well, you need to do Instagram. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yay. So another crazy trend are everyone talks about the crumble cookies and crumble Kardashian cookies. I mean, what is their name not on? And thankfully it's over. It was only a week, but I think they did a Kardashian cookie for each one of them, which
Yes.
My guess
Yeah.
is they don't even eat cookies, is
Right,
my guess.
exactly, which was the funniest part about the whole thing. But they like you said, their names on everything. And I honestly, when I saw that, I thought it was actually like an onion piece because I saw it online first. And then when I was walking out of an Orange Theory class, like right next door, okay, like side note, how funny is it that there's a crumble cookie right next door to Orange Theory? Like, isn't that the last thing I want after having worked out? But
Exactly.
anyway, there is this giant, big, bold sign. This week only, special Kardashian cookies. I mean, I just did a double take. I mean, this thing was real. And that's correct. It was only a 1 week promotion. So if you missed it, I'm so sorry about that. It was a crazy
I'm
trend
sure
from
there'll be a
last
new
week.
one coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. Okay, can we talk about the Blue Origin space
Yes.
flight? The six celebrity people who took a 10-minute flight. I think it was actually 11 to be
Yeah, I think
exact.
you're right. It was 11 minutes. Yeah.
Almost to go to space and back. I mean, it was Gail King, Katy Perry, Lauren Sanchez, and three scientists. I know there's a lot of negative chatter about this, but we need people to go on these journeys. And I know they are celebrities, but frankly, who cares? I mean, there's so much bigger stuff out there. Anyway, I can't imagine seeing Earth from outer space. So when Katy Perry and Gail King kissed the ground, I don't know. I mean, to me, that would just be so incredible to experience. And so they were happy they got to experience. So why not? I mean, none of us have experienced it. And I'm glad they did it because we need people to do it. So anyway, that's
Yeah, I mean, there's been so much flack for these women. I mean, it's been beyond. But so yes, like we admit it, right? It was totally extra. I mean, beyond, and they did do it with their mega money. But they have the right to do this and draw attention to the future of space travel. I mean, it was kind of a glam show with the cute spacesuits, the hair and makeup, and all the things going to outer space. But it was kind of a great marketing idea to attract girls who are into glam. I mean, let's face it, a lot of young girls are into glam, and to feel like maybe they can get to space someday. I mean, I think that's really cool. And of course, there were scientists on this flight as well, and they don't seem to get the same amount of press, unfortunately, but that's the nature of our culture. Like, we're obsessed with celebrities, and that's what we digest. But I do want to make a point about one of these scientists, Amanda Nguyen. She is a bioastronautics researcher. She's Vietnamese. And I loved how she put all of this in perspective. This is a quote from her. She said, "When Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon, bombs rained on Vietnam." Okay, so that was during that time. "And when my family looked at the sky, her Vietnamese family, they saw death. But tomorrow, when they look at the sky, they're going to see the first Vietnamese woman in space." Like, how impactful is that? Like, she has seen the effect of the past, and she really believes for her, and she's the scientist, right? So I think those kind of things, I wish those things were more at the forefront of the media, because that's really kind of the meaningful piece of it all. And really, and I hope this event, which honestly, it really turned into the biggest and most brilliant marketing event for Blue Origin. The media coverage on its own is absolutely staggering. I mean, the front page of every paper talked about it on social media ad nauseum and on the news constantly. But hopefully, it's going to spark more discussion for girls that the STEM fields, those are fields for women to embrace for their future careers. And we always are focusing on getting girls into these hardcore fields because a lot of girls they might like it, but they might not feel it's the most popular among their friend group. I think it's really important to embrace that, the STEM field. So that's my
I
feeling.
absolutely agree. And another plug for making sure we all take care of ourselves the best way possible so that we can embrace all these fields.
Yes.
And I just want to say, I hope you enjoyed our episode about the opera, the M word, and all the other things we talked about. And if you do love this episode, please follow us and rate our show and follow our IG for future episodes. Our email address and IG will also be on the show notes, so feel free to drop us a line. And we would love, love, love to hear your thoughts.
Yes, absolutely. Please do let us know. And it was quite a month, and we're so happy to share with you. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate each of you so much. Stay tuned, and we'll chat again soon at Chatterbox Besties with Brenda and Ricki. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Bye.
Hi, guys. Just to share, this podcast is solely presented for entertainment and educational purposes. We're your besties and sharing our perspectives with you. With love, your Chatterbox Besties.